What is going on, Amazon sellers? Welcome to the Flips Nations channel. My name is Rob and I do about 30K a month in sales doing primarily online arbitrage, and in this video I'll be going through my thought process with various listings using Keepa charts, using Seller Amp, and just kind of give you some insight on how I evaluate a listing using metrics on Keepa, using metrics that I use and formulas that I use on various listings, and just different kind of sourcing techniques that might be useful to you. Just FYI, if you do find this video helpful, consider dropping me a like and subscribing to the channel. There's also a link below to the free Amazon FBA Flips Nation Discord group. There's a free online arbitrage course packed with information. There's also a leads list in that Discord group if you are interested. Free community, free chat, a bunch of networking possibilities there. So I hope to see you there. Now let's get on with the video. All right, so here we are on my computer. So what I'll do first is go to a brand that I know resellers sell often, and we don't have to concern ourselves regarding IP complaint and stuff like that. So a brand that fits those rules would be Nike. So let's go to the Nike NSW hoodies, and let me search that at the top. And just a quick cool tool that you can use. See how it's loading rank down here, it shows us the ASIN, the sellers. It's this extension. It's called the Amazon DS Quick View. DS Amazon Quick View. Pretty cool tool. You can just kind of see if something's a well-selling rank versus something like this, which is in the big 304,000. You know, it's not really selling that well. So, and by the way, the two main extensions that I do use when evaluating a sale is no other than Seller Amp and Keepa. No surprise there, right? Seller Amp allows me to use a calculator to send to Google Sheets. I take their monthly sales as a grain of salt, just because sales estimators essentially derive just from Amazon's BSR, or the best sellers rank. And of course, before I get to the nitty gritty on how I use those extensions, let's get to the point where we actually evaluate a product, right? So keep in mind, I'm going to go step by step through my thought process before I purchase. So if you have any questions on how I answer them or how I go through any of them, you can go ahead and drop a comment below and I will see them, read them, and reply to them. And you can also always join the group at the link below for free to ask any questions. All right, so I'm here on the Nike Men's NSW Club crew neck, not a hoodie. We're just at the crew neck. And we'll just go ahead and click on this normal black and white, and we'll check out the small. All right, so let me pull up Seller Amp. And of course, 565, this is inflated numbers because there's a lot of variation here. So what people normally do when they first check a listing with variations, they're going to go to the variations tab over here. Okay, so this right here, I'm getting ahead of myself. This down here is Keepa. This is Seller Amp, right? So here's Keepa. Here is the buy box and the price action. So we can see here for the last few months, last 3 months right here, it's been steady at around $50, right? It kind of drops over here to 46 for a little bit, but overall, it's been about $50. So the price has been pretty steady. If I check the year, looks like in November type, I got to 52, 71 as well, FBM order. Around mid-December, looks like it was also selling pretty high FBM. So probably much more in demand during this time, during the winter season, as opposed to now. Looks like also during the winter season, there was a lot of sellers on this listing. More than likely, it was selling really well, and it was, if you can see, the sellers ranking is about 7,000. So all these sellers out on the listing, they were probably able to sell it quick as well. And as we round off near this time, the sellers rank has increased, meaning the sales have slowed down because we are probably heading towards warmer season. So that is kind of what I look at, see how steady the price is. Is it going to be steady when I buy it and send it to the Amazon FBA warehouse, or is it going to drop in price? You want to always check the last 3 months, and you also want to check just how it's done in its lifetime on Amazon. So last 3 months. Next up, we're going to check the variation tab. And what most people will suggest is you want to toggle the rating. The variation that has the trophy one can infer that it has the most reviews. That's what that means, highest ratings. So the unit that has the most ratings, one would assume it also has the most sales. However, that's not always true in every case, right? So this right here is saying that the medium variation is selling the most, quote unquote, the most based on its reviews. Large is coming in as a close second. Then we have the extra large, the small, and the large. If we check the data tab, and then we go to the offers, we toggle the last 30 days. Now, this is in respect to what we have selected. So the small, specifically the small, we see that it's been selling, at least for the top 5 sellers, about 250 plus 34 is about 280, about another 20-ish is about 300, 310, about 320 from the last 5 sellers from the last 30 days for this specific variation. If we jump back over to, let's say, the large, for instance, just going to refresh here a little bit. Same thing, about $50, actually a little bit more, rounding about 57, 58. So it looks like this, what variation is this? The large actually sells a little bit higher than the previous variation. And if we check the data, it does in fact sell, looks like considerably less, however, than the small. I believe that's what we looked at. So right there, you know, we can see, if we go back up to the variations tab, we can see that the medium, even though it has the most ratings in the last 30 days, it really hasn't, well, we haven't checked. Let's check the medium. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'll check the small. So let's check the medium. Go to data, offer counts. So the medium, 101, 150-ish, 180-ish, 200, 220-ish, right? So I believe the large was still selling more than that medium. And this is just something, you know, I'm just going through what I would do, and I'm just analyzing product, right? And just kind of seeing if what the reviews was saying was in fact true, right? And again, see how this jumped to 1,500. Again, it's just deriving from the BSR, so you want to take that with a grain of salt. However, I really enjoy Seller Amp because of the calculator here. So if we found something for $30, we know the return's about 30%. If we can find it for $20, we know the return's about 98%. Now, I do try to take a higher ROI, try to make a higher ROI purchase with apparel and footwear because the returns are in fact much higher than grocery, beauty, and whatnot. So for this specific product, I would try to target at least a 40% ROI, so maybe like a $27 range. You know, 30, maybe 32%, just because your profit will probably diminish if one person makes a return. So you want to keep that in mind with apparel and shoes, right? So now let's take this. One more thing I want to show you guys. Right now we can see that there is 20 sellers, right? 24 sellers and 30, 11. Let's go back over to the small. I believe that's the one that was doing a lot, right? Small or medium, what was it? All right, so the small is doing very well as far as Keep was telling us in the last 30 days. So I'm going to bring up calculator here. So roughly 250 plus 34 plus 24 plus 10 plus 8, we have 326. 326 sales in the last 30 days. There's 20, how many sellers do we have on here? We can just scroll down and Seller Amp can tell us here. Total of 20 FBA. I just look at the FBA, 20 FBA sellers, right? So 326 divided by 20 plus us, because we're going to theoretically also be on the listing, right? Divide that by 21. So 15, we can expect to also be able to sell or contribute 15 sales if everything stayed the same. If we were the only seller that jumped on the listing, if these sales were consistent, as soon as our product got on the listing or got onto Amazon FBA warehouse and we were added onto the listing, we would expect to sell, in theory, 15, 16 sales also a month. Now, this is a formula that I always really use. Again, it's not the end all be all, but it's very powerful. Sales divided by the number of sellers plus you. All right, so now let's go on to reverse sourcing. Okay. Also that formula, I call it the buy share. I don't know why. I just call it the buy share. It's a formula that I add on to a column for my virtual assistants when they send over a lead. I always tell them add the number of sellers and just drop down that formula, number of monthly sales divided by the number of sellers plus 1. And that'll give you kind of what you're looking for to sell in the month to come or whenever your item hits Amazon FBA warehouse. And that can kind of give you an idea of how much inventory you want to buy. All right, so we're going to go to these 33 sellers and we're going to look for a seller that has a decent amount of reviews, not too many reviews, which would be indicative that they're a wholesaler, and not like one review either. So that would be inferring that they just started selling. So like, for instance, 87, that's a good one. So let's check this seller out. All right, so we're going to click here to visit his store. So right off the jump, if you look to the left, you can see all the brands that this seller has in the store. A good variation, or a good variety of brands. So this will be a good store because some stores, they might only be selling Nike, only be selling, I don't know, Pumas. So you're not really, you don't have a huge opportunity of finding new brands. This one is perfect because we know A, he has about 80 reviews, so we know he's doing pretty well. B, he's got a variety of different brands. So I'm going to click Seller Amp. Sometimes it doesn't load, so we're gonna refresh here. All right, so now we see the little Seller Amp logo on the left, right? So if we click that little logo, this for instance, this Bob's Red Mill baking powder, Seller Amp would load on me. And by the way, if you want Seller Amp, I have a link below to get a free trial. Very low monthly cost. I believe it's like, I think 14, 11, 12, something like that. Less than $20 a month. Really useful. I would highly suggest using it. So if I scroll down here, what Seller Amp does is we'd have to go onto the listing of this Bob's Red Mill and then go on and look at the keep and whatnot. But Seller Amp allows you to check their store and their product without having to leave their seller page. So we can scroll down and we can look right here at the keep chart. And this is the keep chart of this specific product. So we can see 16, 14, 13, I would say about $14 is the last 3 months, which is pretty good. It's been steady. If we check the year, it's declined a little bit. Went back up, roughly around that $14 mark. We can also see that the number of sellers dropped off significantly around this time. But the last 3 months, the seller count has jumped. Wow, it's jumped 13 to 31, 30 sellers. This is interesting. Let's just keep looking, right? A lot of sellers on this one, so I'm gonna keep it going. Typically, if I see over 30 sellers and the sales volume isn't really there, just kind of keep going. But however, that is not the end all be all. Again, I really like to look at the buy share in the last 30 days. I never just kind of say, okay, the BSR is over 50K, so I'm not going to buy it. I know a lot of people think like that. Do what works for you. I'm just telling you again, my thought process. So we're going to scroll down. It's a good shoe. So it even tells you this is the DS Quick View, by the way. So it'll tell you how many sellers are on it. Again, we're just kind of looking at, okay, Nike, women's, Benassi, Just Do It, sandal. Let's check this one out, right? Click on the Seller Amp logo here. Good sales. Kind of see the price action here on the buy box. It's pretty volatile, right? It was at 37, 40, 39 up here during January. It's dropped now to 27, 28. Sellers counts up 24. Maybe we can do better, right? But you know what? Let's check this out. I'm gonna go ahead and click on this listing. I'm gonna do the same kind of evaluation that I did on that crew neck earlier. So size 10 looks like it's the only one available for this pink variation of the sandal. $26 is the buy box. So we'll scroll down here, go to data, go to offers. Last 30 days. Pull up our calculator. So what do we got? About 23 plus 13 plus 7 plus 4 plus 3. So 50 sales a month. And how many sellers do we have? That's FBA. It's not telling us on SellerAmp right now for some reason. So we can just kind of scroll out 20, right? So divided by 21, about 3 sales a month. Not that great unless we can find something for, I don't know, if we can find it for like $12, maybe even $10. Again, it's a shoe, right? So we want to find something with a pretty high ROI just to account for any returns that we might see. 33%. So let's go back. And when I first started selling, I was doing this for hours and hours, looking at different Keepa charts, and that's something you just have to do. The ones that do weather that kind of storm will make it, right? I know a lot of people, when they see that sandal and they saw $4 profit, it's like, okay, $4 profit, what's that going to do, right? But you have to understand that that's just one ASIN, right? You're adding to your catalog of ASINs. So if you find this that sells 5 a month, you find another ASIN that sells 10 a month. You keep going, you keep adding to that catalog. After a few months, you might have 20 different products that sell about 3 to 4 or 5 a month, right? So 5 times 20, you have 100 sales a month, generating whatever its respective profit. And you just kind of keep on adding. All right, so we're going to keep looking here. Go to the second page. Title is, this is interesting. Bijlo tea. I like these because it's kind of a grocery item, so return rates can be much lower than like an Adidas backpack or a Nike gym wear shirt. So let's look at the Keepa chart on here, if it would open it up for me, and see if this is worth pursuing. Okay, so buy box has held. So let's check this out. What's the seller's rank? Not too good on the seller's rank. The BSR is 74K. However, let's do a deep dive on this listing here. Now, the brand that sells this looks like it's called Bijlo Tea Store. Let's go ahead and check the other sellers and make sure that brand itself is not on the listing, because this is not some Nike product now, right? This is a random brand that at least random for me. Maybe you've heard before. Looks like there's other resellers on here. Actually, there's a lot of wholesalers on here. See the high amount of reviews. A lot of wholesalers on this listing. There is one reseller here, 41 ratings. 140. So this is probably fine. We're going to look at the Keepa chart. Keepa last 30. So looks like a decent amount of sales. 40, 60, 80, 30, about 86 sales per month. 17 sellers, so we have 86 sales per month divided by technically 18. So we can expect to contribute about 5 sales a month. So let's check this out here. We're going to go and click G here. All right. Looks like 349 Vitacost. So I'm really intrigued by Vitacost because if you don't know, Vitacost gives you a 20% intro email. So that can be a competitive advantage over someone else that does not know about stuff like that. And there's a lot of websites that have these high intro offers. You just got to go and find them, right? So let's check this out. So it's a 3-pack, right? Go back over here. Now I know it says 20 bags here, but the picture obviously shows 18. So that might just be an error in the listing title. You can change that or request a change for that. So we have 3-pack. So let's keep that noted. And it's $20 on the buy box. 20.3. So SellerAmp tells us the max cost we needed for at least is 8.85 to get at least a 33%. Hopefully we can get something better than that. Maybe like $8 or something like that. Let's see. All right. So I'm going to put 3, but you only get free shipping from Vitacost. So I think it's over $50. All right. So we said we wanted to get 5, maybe contribute to 5 to 6 sales a month. So 6 times 3, 18. We'll add 18 to the cart. About $61. We'll view the cart. Now, as I said, you can get intro offers with Vitacost. So I went ahead and did. Okay, so we got 20% off. Puts it down at 57. Unfortunately, that took off our shipping, so I'm gonna add another pack of 3 here to kick our shipping charge off. All right, so now shipping is free. So let's see what we got here. $56.95 divided by 21 times 3. That gives me $8.13 as our buy cost. So let's go back over here. So we got close, $8.13, 45% ROI, $3, almost $4 profit on each of these. So this is a good buy. Now what we can do is, we know that this is a decent brand. Let's start looking at the other sellers on this brand. And that's kind of how you kind of go down this rabbit hole of good brands and good sellers, good storefronts. The Nike storefront, we went through a couple. They were selling a lot of things that everyone else was selling, or maybe the prices tanked. So now we're at a good listing, a good lead. So let's go to that reseller that we saw down here and see what he has. All right, so going on that seller again with a bunch of Nike, since the other seller didn't have too many other brands. We're back here, and I wanted to look at this product right here, Nike Reacts 8. It looks like all he has is a size. Well, the listing only includes a size 8. Sometimes they split the sizings up on listings, kind of annoying. But let's see here. So size 8. So let's go ahead and just check. Looks like, okay, Academy has this on sale, but it is a different colorway. Let's see if we can find this shoe though on Amazon. And there's the white. See that listing that we went to originally? It split up the listing for some reason, and see, here's everything, right? So this is the one that we were seeing, metallic gold. Let's see, since there's a sale on Academy, we already have a competitive advantage on that front. So let's see if there's anything, how this is selling. Okay. All right, so these are selling pretty high. The best selling, or the highest selling, is going to be the size 8 at $125.99 is the buy box. Now, again, what you want to do is check the Keepa here. So if we scroll down, we'll do our normal formula, right? Data, offers. And of course, this is Nike, so we don't have to be scared of any kind of potential IP complaints. Not a lot of whole sales going on for this. Let's check size 9. Oh, the buy box looks a lot more active on this size 9. So size 9 is doing okay. Just 7 sales. Let's see, size 9.5. A lot better. 13, 26, 29, 31, 33. How many sellers on the listing here? 13. So 31 divided by us 2 and 14, about 2.2 sales. 113 is the buy box. So the most we want it for is $70. So at Academy, we're getting it for $74.99. So if we go over here, $74.99, we can make $16 profit, about 22%. This is still, is this, okay, which one was the good selling, or the high selling? 9.5 is the higher selling one, right? So let's check the 9.5. Higher selling, albeit lower selling price. Yep. 113. So we're getting it for $75. We make $13.61. ROI is about 20%. However, this, like I said, with shoes, you want to kind of find a higher ROI price because return rates are high. But nonetheless, this is a good, if you want to take a little bit of a chance here, this is a good buy. Academy has all these hot deals in the hot deals category. Really good buys here. I've bought a lot of things from Academy. So again, we know this is Nike, so we don't have to check if there's any potential IP complaints by looking if there's a brand name on there, or if bunch of wholesalers on there if it's a private label, because we know Nike's never on these listings, like Nike themselves. I don't look a lot at the sales estimators. I look more at Keepa. I also don't really look at the BSR. Like the BSR is 45K, which is less than everyone's suggested 100K, but it really comes down to the unit itself. These are kind of inflated because there's a bunch of variations here, and it'll even tell you. However, you want to look at the products themselves, and just know that because this does have a low BSR, although some of these are lower selling per month, there's going to be a lot of eyes on this listing. Now, not all listings are created equal. Even though this listing or this variation has about 10 sales a month on the size 12, we know that this listing overall gets a lot of eyes, a lot of traffic, because the BSR is around 45K. But anyways, yeah, remember, the main things I wanted to hit home is don't trust everything that sales estimators derive. You want to look at the Keepa as well and see if it's consistent. Always check if there's IP complaint potentials by looking at all the sellers on the listing. Always check for coupons. You want to use just Capital One shopping extension. Ragton also has coupons as well, but for the most part, I use this Capital One shopping. Always make a moat. Always have a competitive advantage. Know all the coupons on a site that you can use, like that Vitacost, and there's other websites that also have the same kind of intro promotions. Start from a listing that you know is resellable, like Nike, and other ones like Puma, Converse, Vans, stuff like that, that you know that the brand itself is not selling on Amazon. Adidas, unfortunately, is sold by Amazon. Another one, Under Armour, is sold by Amazon, so those might not be the best route. However, Nike's good. Start from Nike. Find someone who's selling brands other than Nike, right? Groceries, beauty, stuff like that. People don't return as often as apparel and shoes. So I really like to nowadays venture out to other types of brands than just sell Nikes. However, right now I do sell a lot of Nike shoes because it's a lot easier for me to hit my spending goal every day. I can buy like 10 Nike shoes and hit almost a K in spending, right? So, and in addition to that, the profit per unit I like, because you can make north of $20 profit on a pair of shoes versus what we saw earlier, like $3 or $4. Even though ROI is really good and you can sell a lot of those, and the return rate is very low compared to Nike shoes. So selling those are not bad. It's just something you can add onto your portfolio of ASINs. So you just kind of have a running list of replans that you can buy every single month. Don't stay away from the $3 profits, $4 profits, because it's still profit, A, and people aren't going to return them, B, and it's really easy to prep. Those small little pouches are really easy to prep for your prep center. Get it out of the way. You too, if you're prepping yourself, still really easy for you to prep. So always take that into account too. Shoes, really easy to prep. You just put a rubber band on it and label it, and you're off and running, right? So I appreciate you guys watching. If there's any questions, if you want me to make another sourcing video that is similar to this one, again, this wasn't meant to be like, here's an amazing product you can sell every day, because if I found something like that here, A, I wouldn't be putting it on the video because it's going to get tanked, right? Everyone's going to watch it. It's going to go buy it. B, there might be a sale on it anyway, so it wouldn't even be that relevant. So anyways, if you have any questions, comment below. Please join the free Flips Nation Amazon FBA Discord group. We'll see you there. There's a free course, leads list if you're available, and I'm there to answer any questions you all have. Other than that, like and subscribe. See you on the next video.